talk tools versus screaming tools to communicate. Sometimes children will scream when they are not angry. It may even seem as though they are screaming just to hear their own voices. It is difficult to know what to do, especially if a child is nonverbal and you don't want to discourage any form of vocalizing. In order to figure out the best intervention, it is important to determine if the screaming is communicative, attention-seeking, or self-reinforcing. The best way to do this is to use an ABC chart to establish the reason. In an ABC chart, the A stands for the antecedent, or what happened right before the screaming. The B is the behavior, or the screaming, and C is the consequence, or what happens after the screaming occurs. Keep track of the screaming on this chart for one day. The results will be used to help establish the purpose for the behavior. There may be multiple and overlapping reasons. However, for our purposes, we will conclude that the screaming is an attempt to communicate a need. Our response is to teach the child to use more appropriate forms of communication to replace the screaming. This is taught by waiting a few seconds after the scream has ended and helping the child to use either sign language, pictures, words, or a device to communicate his or her need. Once the child communicates with the acceptable form, it is important to respond by immediately providing what the child has requested. This will ensure that you are reinforcing the acceptable communication and not the screaming. As the child begins to understand an appropriate way to communicate, fade your assistance. With time and practice, a child will learn that needs and requests can be gained in ways other than by screaming.